parties.
I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. And you gotta tell him no.
Now, Diddy's legal squad is desperate to make sure Katt doesn't spill more secrets that could send Diddy to the pen for life. It's about to get real messy. In this video, I break down the exclusive gist on how Bad Boy's former boss is begging the judge to keep Katt Williams off the witness stand. Katt Williams' prophetic warnings and Diddy's courtroom panic. Inside the tense Manhattan federal courtroom, Sean, Diddy Combs' legal team has been working overtime to prevent one particular witness from potentially taking the stand, comedian Katt Williams. Williams' explosive statements about the music mogul have suddenly taken on prophetic significance. While Williams isn't currently on the official witness list, rumors of his potential testimony have reportedly left Diddy in a state of growing panic. The reason for Diddy's apparent anxiety? Williams' January 2024 appearance on Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay Shay podcast, where he delivered what now seems like an uncannily accurate prediction about the music mogul's future, months before federal agents would raid Diddy's properties and ultimately arrest him on serious criminal charges.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed.
More specifically,
Williams claimed he had repeatedly turned down invitations to Diddy's notorious parties, stating explicitly that he had rejected substantial sums of money to protect his integrity.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. And you gotta tell him no.
These statements, made months before Diddy's September 2024 arrest on charges including racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation for prostitution, have taken on a startling new significance as the trial unfolds. The prosecution has reportedly expressed interest in potentially calling Williams to testify about his knowledge of Diddy's parties and the culture of silence that allegedly allowed problematic behavior to continue unchecked for decades. According to courtroom observers, Diddy appeared visibly distressed when Williams' name was mentioned during a pretrial hearing discussing potential witnesses. Lauren LaRosa, a journalist covering the trial for The Breakfast Club, described Diddy's increasingly fragile state as the proceedings have progressed.
But you said, how does Diddy look?
Did they look stressed out?
He's definitely a lot thinner. Face is very pale. A lot of gray hair. Some black, but a lot of gray hair. You could tell he was nervous, and he said it in the courtroom. He had asked to go to the bathroom. He was like, "Excuse me, Judge. I'm a little bit nervous." But you could tell at one point in time, and I was watching him very closely. I saw like his hands shaking a bit, but very involved. He's fighting for his life, literally. He came with a case of paperwork. He was on the tablet sitting next to Brian Steele. He's reading every juror profile as things are happening.
This description paints a stark contrast with the confident, powerful image Diddy has cultivated throughout his career, the man who once proudly declared himself a savage who gets whatever I want.
Savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get! Yes! What's next? What's next? I gotta get it. I'm not gonna stay fucking down. I'm not gonna stay fucking lying down. I'm not. I can't do that, man. I can't do that. What's next? Give me something else.
The trial, which began with jury selection on May 5, 2025, has already featured testimony from several witnesses whose accounts paint a disturbing picture of Diddy's alleged behavior. Israel Flores, a Los Angeles police officer who worked security at the Intercontinental Hotel in 2016, testified about responding to a distress call following an incident where Combs allegedly assaulted his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Flores described seeing Ventura with a purple eye, wanting to leave, while Combs allegedly offered cash in what the officer interpreted as a potential bribe. Daniel Phillip, a male review manager, provided equally disturbing testimony, describing paid sexual encounters with Cassie Ventura in 2012, with Combs allegedly present, directing the encounters and recording them. Philip claimed Diddy took his driver's license as a form of threat and testified that he witnessed the mogul dragging Ventura by her hair. As these witnesses have taken the stand, Diddy's legal team has reportedly become increasingly concerned about who else might be called to testify. Court filings suggest they have filed multiple motions to limit witness testimony, particularly from individuals who weren't directly involved in the specific incidents outlined in the indictment, but who might speak to broader patterns of behavior. The prosecution has countered that establishing these patterns is essential to proving the racketeering charge, which requires demonstrating an organized criminal enterprise rather than isolated incidents. They argue that witnesses like Williams, who allegedly declined invitations to events where criminal activities allegedly occurred, can provide valuable context about how these events were perceived within the industry. Judge Subramanian has yet to rule definitively on whether Williams could be called, though legal experts suggest that Katt Williams' testimony might face challenges related to relevance and concerns that it could be more prejudicial than probative. Nevertheless, the mere possibility appears to have rattled Diddy, whose courtroom demeanor has reportedly grown increasingly anxious as the trial progresses. The prosecution's witness list officially includes Cassandra Cassie Ventura, whose lawsuit filed in November 2023 was the catalyst that ultimately led to the current criminal charges. Another expected witness, referred to as Jane Victim 2 to protect her identity, will reportedly testify about her experiences with Diddy. The list also includes individuals identified as Victim 3 and Victim 4, though the prosecution revealed on May 9, 2025, that they cannot locate Victim 3, potentially complicating aspects of their case. As the trial unfolds, the gap between Diddy's carefully cultivated public image and his current reality in the courtroom grows increasingly stark. The man who once dominated the entertainment industry with seemingly untouchable power now appears diminished, anxiously watching as witnesses detail allegations that could potentially send him to prison for life. And with each passing day, Katt Williams' predictions about 2024 being a year of reckoning for deviants in positions of power seem increasingly prescient. Damning testimony and mounting evidence continue to shape the trajectory of Sean Diddy Combs' trial in Manhattan federal court. Testimony about his alleged freak-offs, the term prosecutors use to describe drug-fueled sex parties, has painted an increasingly disturbing picture of what allegedly occurred behind closed doors at the music mogul's properties. The evidence presented thus far forms the foundation of serious charges against Diddy, including racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation for prostitution. The indictment, unsealed following his arrest in September 2024, alleges that Diddy ran a criminal enterprise spanning decades, using his business empire and associates to facilitate and conceal alleged criminal activities. Prosecutors claim he abused women by forcing them into days-long sexual activities with male commercial sex workers, using violence, intimidation, narcotics, financial control, and threats to ensure compliance. One witness provided particularly graphic testimony about attending a gathering at Diddy's Star Island property during Miami's Ultra Music Week, describing how phones were confiscated and placed in locked pouches to prevent documentation of the activities inside.
We arrived, security guard patted us down. They put our phone in this little bubble case. So the bubble case is closed. They can't get unlocked until we walk out. So as we're in there, the only way of us taking any type of pictures is if we get in the photo booth. He has like a Team Love photo booth or whatever.
The witness described a selection process for determining who would be allowed into the main house, allegedly where the most explicit activities occurred.
One of his sons, I'm not going to tell you which one, but it was like recruiting like whoever they wanted to go inside the house, because the freak off is inside the house and in the backyard.
Inside the house and in the backyard, the scene allegedly involved open drug use, nudity, and sexual activity taking place in the early morning hours.
So you have the pool, and they're playing loud house music, like Mark. The house music, it makes you feel kind of woozy, first of all, because it's like a rave or something. Dun, 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 and it's real loud, so you can't really see nothing, but you're seeing everybody like walking around, drunk, hopping around. It's still 7 a.m. So the sun is like coming up, and people are walking around naked, period. Let's get into it.
The witness also recounted feeling targeted by Diddy himself, describing how she overheard conversations suggesting she had been specifically selected for his attention. Number 9. This testimony aligns with what multiple accusers have claimed in civil lawsuits filed against Diddy since November 2023. Over 63 lawsuits have been filed as of April 2025, with allegations ranging from sexual assault to sex trafficking, many involving these infamous parties. A particularly damning piece of evidence in the case is a 2016 surveillance video showing Diddy physically assaulting Cassie Ventura in a hotel hallway, footage he later apologized for when it became public in May 2024. This video has been admitted as evidence in the trial, providing jurors with visual confirmation of at least one instance of physical abuse. The prosecution has combined testimony from alleged victims with supporting evidence, including surveillance footage, communications records, and testimony from witnesses who allegedly facilitated or observed the behavior in question. They aim to establish a pattern spanning decades rather than isolated incidents, supporting the racketeering charge at the heart of the case. Diddy faces 5 serious criminal counts that, collectively, could result in life imprisonment if convicted. These include 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, maximum sentence, life in prison, 2 counts of sex trafficking, minimum 15 years, maximum life each, 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, maximum 10 years each. His legal team, led by attorneys Mark Anthony Agnifilo and Tenny Gagos, with recent additions like Brian Steele, known for representing Young Thug, have characterized the relationships as consensual. They argue that Diddy led a swinger lifestyle, believing multiple sex partners, including sex workers, was appropriate. The defense has also filed motions citing racial targeting, particularly regarding the transportation charge, though these motions have been unsuccessful thus far. Notably, Diddy rejected a plea deal offered by prosecutors, choosing to fight the charges in court. This decision indicates his continued assertion of innocence despite the mounting allegations against him. Since his arrest on September 16, 2024, Diddy has been held without bail at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, deemed a serious flight risk by the court. His bail requests have been denied, with appeals filed in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. Reports describe his detention conditions as horrific, and he has faced accusations of violating prison rules by contacting potential witnesses and attempting to influence testimony. The trial has faced additional complications related to witness availability. The prosecution has revealed difficulties locating Victim 3, a key witness associated with the racketeering conspiracy charge. Her absence could potentially impact certain aspects of their case. As more witnesses take the stand and more evidence is presented, the likelihood of Katt Williams potentially being called to testify remains a source of apparent anxiety for Diddy and his legal team. Williams' January 2024 statements, which seemingly predicted Diddy's legal troubles months before his arrest, have gained substantial attention online, with many viewing them as evidence that rumors about Diddy's behavior were well known within industry circles long before becoming public. For Diddy, the stakes couldn't be higher. Beyond the immediate legal jeopardy, his legacy, reputation, and future hang in the balance. The contrast between his former status as an untouchable music industry titan and his current position as a defendant fighting serious criminal charges underscores the dramatic reversal of fortune he has experienced. With potential witnesses like Katt Williams possessing knowledge that could further damage his defense, his reported pleas to keep such figures off the stand reflect the desperation of a man facing the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars. From empire to indictment, the path from hip-hop mogul to federal defendant represents one of the most dramatic falls from grace in entertainment history. For Sean Diddy Combs, once the embodiment of hip-hop entrepreneurial success, Diddy now sits in a Manhattan courtroom facing charges that could permanently alter his legacy and potentially end his freedom. The collapse of Diddy's carefully constructed empire began on November 16, 2023, when his former girlfriend Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit in Manhattan federal court alleging a decade-long pattern of abuse from 2007 to 2018. The 35-page complaint accused Combs of sexual assault, battery, and sex trafficking, claiming she was trapped in a cycle of abuse, violence, and sex trafficking. Surprisingly, the lawsuit was settled out of court just 1 day after filing, with terms undisclosed and the case dismissed with prejudice. Despite the swift settlement, Ventura's lawsuit acted as a catalyst, triggering a wave of additional legal actions against Diddy. By November 2024, the one-year anniversary of Ventura's filing, at least 28 more lawsuits had been filed, with allegations of assault and other abuses dating back to 1991. The situation escalated dramatically on March 25, 2024, when federal agents conducted raids on Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami as part of a sex trafficking investigation. These high-profile raids yielded significant evidence, including AR-15-style guns, large-capacity magazines, and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, items that would later feature prominently in the indictment against him. 6 months after the raids, on September 16, 2024, Diddy was arrested in New York City on federal charges, including sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation for prostitution. The indictment detailed what prosecutors termed freak-offs, alleged drug-fueled sex parties where victims were coerced into sexual acts through violence, intimidation, and drugging. Diddy pleaded not guilty but was denied bail, deemed a flight risk, and has remained detained at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn since his arrest. Perhaps the most damning piece of evidence in the mounting case against Diddy emerged on May 17, 2024, when CNN released surveillance footage from 2016 showing him physically assaulting Cassie Ventura in a hotel hallway. The video showed Diddy grabbing, shoving, and kicking Ventura, visual confirmation of the abuse she had alleged in her lawsuit. 2 days after the video's release, Diddy issued a public apology, taking full responsibility for his actions, a rare acknowledgement of wrongdoing in a case where he has otherwise maintained his innocence. This video evidence has been allowed in the current trial, providing jurors with graphic confirmation of at least one incident of physical abuse. Its impact cannot be overstated, as it transforms what might otherwise be dismissed as a he-said-she-said situation into a documented case of violence. The scope of allegations against Diddy spans decades and includes claims from individuals in various capacities, former romantic partners, employees, casual acquaintances, and industry colleagues. Joey Dickerson Neal alleged that Combs drugged and sexually assaulted her after a date in 1991, claiming he also distributed a video of the incident was shared as revenge. Liza Gardner claimed Combs and Aaron Hall raped her in 1990, with an assault and choking incident days later. April Lampro alleged multiple sexual assaults, including forced oral sex, involving then-girlfriend Kim Porter in a lawsuit filed in May 2024. These early allegations established a pattern that would be echoed in later claims, accusations.
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
Nah, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle,
right?
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.